Welcome to Peace, Freedom, and Joy for Changemakers. I am your host, Michelle Vande Hey, and today's 5 minute message is personal development equals professional development. And this honestly came to me this morning, and then I was on a meeting with other business owners and consultants, and this message continues to come up. It's really about this idea that we hear about, like, oh, I need to do professional development for Word. And even I've done professional development sessions for teachers. There's a lot of professional development opportunities out there. Recently, I went to the Wisconsin Nonprofit Summit, lots of professional development opportunities there, talking about creating your board and all of these different types of things that help you with the nuts and bolts of running your organization. Those things are necessary. And personal development is also necessary and sometimes may actually be more important, if not equally as important, as the professional development. And here's why is because when you are ready to take your organization to that next level, maybe you're wanting to grow from, a certain amount of people that you're serving to another amount. Maybe you want to go from our income, our donations, our sponsorships, all that kind of stuff. We want to go from 50K to 100K, or we want to go from 200K to 500K so we can create more impact. In order to be able to do that, you need to be able to include in there personal development. Because if you've been operating at a certain level for a little while, in order for you to go to that next level, that is a different energy frequency. That is a different mindset. It's a different way of being when you're operating at this higher level. And in order to get there, it's not only these professional skills that you need to learn, it's also the personal skills that you need to learn. And a big part of that is coming back to yourself and knowing yourself and having confidence in yourself, knowing your self worth, right? So the income you're bringing in and all the connections that you have and the success of your organization and the success of your life is determined by the worthiness of how you feel of your self worth. And in order to go to that next level, you need to really increase the self worth that you have for yourself. What do I feel like I'm worthy of? Especially for those of you that are the founders of your organizations, that you feel like your organization is your baby, that it's really a big part of who you are, it's a big part of your identity. If you think that your worth is here, but you want your organization to go here, your self worth has to match that so that you can go to that next level. Otherwise, what tends to happen is maybe you get to this next level, but then something happens to bring you back down here. It's not sustainable. And what I talk about often is creating sustainable impact. And that sustainability comes from having balance and harmony in your life with not overworking, with taking care of yourself, with taking care of your team, making sure everyone is being taken care of personally as well as professionally. Taking that time to do that. And I know for me personally, anytime I've wanted to take my business to that next level, or I'm like, oh, I want to go here. I see myself going here. And sometimes it's easier to think of it in the numbers because you're like, okay, I want to take my organization to bring in $100,000 with it with donations every year. In order to get there, something has to shift besides the doing. It's also the being, right? We talk about human beings versus human doing. We are beings. And so, what do you need to be in order to be able to go to that next level with your organization? Investing in the professional development is very important, and investing in your own personal development is just as important, if not more important, to create it sustainably. In order to be able to sustain the growth and the success, it comes back to your personal development. It comes back to your self worth and your worthiness. It comes back to knowing yourself and your identity and your self love. That's what it really comes down to when you break it down. And when I hear about people that got to this certain level, I was just talking with someone and their business was a multi-million dollar business and they had to step away because of their personal stuff. And it was like similar to compassion fatigue and vicarious trauma, and they had to step away and almost stepped away from it for good but they stepped away for several years before they came back to doing something a little bit different and adjusting. But they had to step away because they weren't doing the personal stuff that needed to be done in order to sustain it. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to create that long term sustainable success. And it starts with focusing on and committing to your own personal development, your own personal transformation, and having that be just as important as the professional side. So when you're at that point of saying, I want to take my organization, I want to take my mission to the next level, I want to reach more people, I want to create more impact, it starts with investing in yourself and your personal development within yourself and the personal development within your team members as well. If you have team members, whether they're paid, volunteers, staff, whatever that looks like, investing in that personal development is of the utmost priority because if you are struggling, if your team, your staff, your volunteers are struggling, it's going to show up professionally as well. It may not show up right away because we can get used to masking ourselves. We can get used to putting on this professional persona at work. But at some point, it is going to break down and it's not going to be sustainable. And we want that for you. What's important for you to invest in yourself and invest in your team at a personal level because we are all humans. And so when we focus on the human side of the work, that's when you create that long term sustainable success that professionally, then you're also able to take on the professional development from a different lens and a different context and being your authentic self instead of taking it from this conditioned self context. And that might be a whole nother episode after this. So, what's your biggest takeaway from this? This was maybe more of an intro or an awareness of, oh my gosh, yes, I really focus so much on professional development and I'd kind of forgotten about personal development, or it's something I invest in at this level. And now I know I need to invest at this level. I need to invest bigger in the personal development so the professional development can grow as well. So, where are you at with that? You're welcome to send me a message. If you want to be part of the live recording or be part of my community, you can join Peace, Freedom, and Joy for Changemakers on Facebook. It's all in the show notes. Let me know your feedback, your biggest takeaway, your aha. And if you want me to go deeper into this conversation, what is a question that you have about this and how you do this and what that might look like? Sending you all light and love. And always remember that you are worth it.